Holy shit.
Welcome to the 24th episode of Satoshi Chats. My name is Jack.
And my name is Casey.
And today is the 26th of September, 2021. And the price is looking around 43,500. Wow.
Glorious.
What do you think about that? Would you say that this is stacking level?
Oh yeah. If you consider that the Bitcoin price will be above 43,000 in the future, I would say 43,000 is certainly a good price to be purchasing at.
Yes, I agree. I agree with that statement.
Given the fundamentals of the coin, I would say it's a good price.
The coins. All right, so today we have 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 articles today, all from the lovely Bitcoin magazine. Casey, do you want to kick us off? Which one are we doing first?
I will.
China bans?
Yeah, exactly.
Did you want to share? Go ahead and share your screen.
Yeah, let's jump.
On.
So,
yes,
we've got the old China ban.
Those are nice little indicators on your desktop icons. Those are nice.
Oh yeah. I'll show those real quick. Beautiful. You have to you click on it, edit the info and stuff. You
could put a little custom picture. All right, let's kick it off.
So this is the most recent article on the China ban that Bitcoin magazine did. Excellent little piece by our very own Namkios. He does the most writing here at the magazine, and basically it explains why the ban is kind of technically good for Bitcoin. When we had China basically as the main dominator of mining, and it technically still is by hash rate and all that, but that's waning. And when it wasn't waning, when it was very much clear that it was the dominator, we often had to deal with the narrative of a communist country that is very much totalitarian in its nature kind of controls Bitcoin, and that's kind of been eliminated by the country itself, and it's relinquished some control over the network hash rate, etc. And it's just a general good thing for Bitcoin. What do you think, Jack? Do you think China and Bitcoin?
I definitely think it's good. Yeah, I would definitely agree that it's good because it literally China was kind of like the OP country for mining and stuff. And I really think that spreading that out throughout more different countries, more diverse, I think that's better in the decentralization of Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining. I think that's actually kind of a good thing.
Yep, I think you're right on there. And really, it's old news. China's tried to ban Bitcoin so many times, and it will never officially do it. It'll never, fully do it. So it's just more FUD from the old sources. So I think we can squash this one and move on to our next Bitcoin magazine piece.
That is considered busted.
Consider it busted. Yeah, exactly. Oh God, I don't know if anyone can see these ads, but this is horrendous. The size of that and just disgusting.
Yeah, who decides that?
It's yeah, I don't even want to. I'm not sure how to say. So we'll move on from the ads. That's disgusting.
They are quite large. Maybe a little thin one.
That one right there. Well, you know what? It's my fault for not having an ad blocker on. I just don't trust the ad blockers on Safari enablers, but I need to find an actual trusted one. So moving on, new Twitter integration. We just talked about this the other day on episode 23 in full, but this one talks about how if Bitcoin comes to take on the digital payments industry, which is worth more than $5 trillion, then Bitcoin could be worth $300,000 or more. What do you think about that, Jack?
What is that referring to? What what is Twitter taking over that's worth that Bitcoin market cap of 300,000? Like
So like the digital payments industry. So imagine every payment in
just the
on the
entirety
internet. Yeah. So if we go into the article here, um, consisted of a 700 billion global remittance industry, $13.8 billion influencer marketing industry, and both of those paled to the $5.44 trillion global digital payments market, which if we look at his source here, got Business Wire digital payments market report. So,
of it.
but
That's
yeah,
in,
it's a lot to replace, that's for sure.
right. It is a lot to replace, and um, maybe I wouldn't necessarily agree that it's going to be like Twitter is going to be the main thing. I think Twitter is going to just remain
Oh, yeah.
I think it's interesting how they called it a tipping service. I feel like it would be better if it was almost called like Twitter's like money moving, like Twitter's like
You
instant
movement.
payments feature, like the tipping kind of makes it sound like a little um like a Twitch stream tip, like I wonder why they market it as like tipping,
Mhm.
but yeah, I mean obviously I agree Bitcoin can take over the entire digital payments like industry, but I feel like it's going to take a little bit of time, and I just don't think that Twitter will. I guess the article does say Twitter will drive the Bitcoin price, so
It's
I kind
paving
of
it, right?
agree with them. I don't think Twitter is going to be the main. Uh, it's the main driver right now, I guess you could say, with Strike, but I don't think it will remain the biggest one.
That's a fair analysis, I'd say, and I think a wise take. But yeah, I think the framing of the article is correct in terms of like, yeah, Bitcoin and Twitter.
Do you
Uh,
think that they wait? You can finish your thought.
I was just going to say, it's going to be Twitter's going to lead the way, but like you said, one day it'll get replaced by something that
Um,
also uses Bitcoin.
do you think they called it tipping due to like some legal issues?
Well,
Like,
so I actually saw that they were going to change it from tipping to donation because tipping is a legal issue because tipping is technically taxed.
oh, interesting. Yeah,
So they fucked up when they called it tipping, actually.
yeah, I knew something was wrong with that word, but yeah, donation. But why didn't they just kind of market it as like? I mean, it is using strikes, so technically it's Strike who's doing the main work. Twitter just kind of has like a little uh, better like UI little thing, but
Hmm.
I feel like it would be way cooler if Twitter was like, oh yeah, we just partnered with Strike, and they more. I feel like if they just talked about it more, it'd be super cool. Like, hey, we partnered with Strike. You could send money anywhere. Like, instead of, oh, you're going to see on the mainstream media, Twitter ads tipping service. Like, that's not as cool, you know?
Yeah, the phrasing has to be particular. It has to be particular because, yeah, I know what you're saying. But it's such an interesting development, that whole Twitter thing. But I think we can move on from this
Busted.
Bitcoin magazine article. Busted. Yeah, everything is just busted, like Mythbusters. This is the coolest one I think we're talking about
That's
today.
the most like interesting.
Most cypherpunk. Um, Definitely cool to see that Blockstream has this satellite network going on. This is the actual Blockstream website. Bitcoin blockchain from space, no internet required. That's crazy because some people in Africa probably don't have internet, but they might have satellite. So
What that eliminates the what if the internet shuts off? Like that eliminates that,
it does.
like
Yeah.
that argument.
I'd be curious to know if the satellite ran on internet. It'd be
Well,
interesting.
I don't know where you were just at, but I think you're on the Blockstream satellite tab, and it said no internet required.
Yeah, but what if the satellite requires internet? Like how does the satellite communicate with the ground? I mean, I guess they probably use like some form of
Well, it's like phone calls aren't internet. It's just like
true. It's just some other some protocol that's beyond my understanding.
right, of course. Well, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
this is a
I
cool
guess
mod.
you don't live in Dubai, and you should be fine. Or
Yeah, Is that, yeah, that's like right around there, huh? Fucking A. Interesting. Or the Horn of Africa.
Or fucking the what's that? The south tip of South America. What's that
Uh,
passage called?
oh, you know, I don't know. I forget. It's a very famous fucking pass though, but
Just don't live in South Chile, Madagascar, or Dubai, and I guess it should be fine.
Greenland, all of Greenland's fucked.
Or Iceland.
Or Iceland.
That's
I
good
think
coverage.
Iceland's good.
That's good coverage.
Yeah, look at like you've got all of this major area,
What does the
all of
colors
these
represent?
major areas, all of North America,
I
obviously.
think it shows you the colors and what they represent.
Oh, yeah.
So what's
You've
the
got the actual
greatest?
satellites.
What's the greatest quality? Which country has?
I'm not sure if these are
I think that's
quality
just yeah, different regions.
frequencies. It's kind of cool that you can like highlight which one's which and shit and like see the coverage. Look at like the overlapping coverage of that, you know? Like
Yeah,
that's all North America, but then we also get this. So it's kind of interesting.
that's really interesting. When are they developing this or is this happening? Like, what's the
This has already happened. So the if we go back to the uh, thing, we have Econo Alchemist. He wrote about how to actually like connect to it, and so he talks. You literally can connect to it now and
really?
stream yourself. Yeah, stream yourself the Bitcoin blockchain. You need all this stuff, and you could just follow this Bitcoin magazine article and literally be downloading the Bitcoin blockchain from satellite. Isn't that cool?
So go back up to the recommended items. I see in that it says Ethernet cable. Like, is that so? You have to buy a satellite, or
I would assume this is from the satellite receiver to your like computer, right? Or something like that. I
how
don't
much
know.
are they selling these satellites, or what?
Oh, the satellite thing. Um,
Yeah, do you need that? I'm assuming you
I
need.
need Blockstream satellite kit. Here we are. Oh, it brought me here. Get a satellite kit. There we go.
Oh my god! Oh,
500.
that's not that bad.
No. Let's see.
I thought it'd be way worse.
No.
That's nice.
It's just a little block. It looks like
Imagine just every house having like a little receiver for money.
sat IP,
So
self sat.
that's actually really cool. I would so after everything's up and running, um you would need to give your Raspberry Pi power, but really you would have to plug in an Ethernet cable from your router.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's a very interesting project.
That's very interesting. Yeah, I really hope that that becomes more like mainstream because I mean, what's the comparison with reliability to satellites versus the internet, right? Like
Yeah, I
I
don't
guess
know. I guess
satellites are more private.
well, and just I think the thing is like everyone imagines connect like the internet is connected to power. So like everyone imagines the power grid going down and then boom, no internet. But I guess satellites, like it just whenever I hear the word satellite, I think of like people who go like hiking out in the deep woods and they can connect anywhere with like some small little like fucking
Yeah,
uh,
like
Casio fucking computer looking thing. And I always think about that shit. So I just imagine like being able to connect to Bitcoin out in the middle of like the brush where like nothing is, but you still have satellite.
right, right. That's
Like
really
that map covered all of North America, which I assume means literally like all of North, like the mountains included, you know?
right. Like there's no little specific spot where it's not covered, you know?
Yeah, it's not like you need a fucking cell tower, you know?
That's really interesting. I hope that that's true because that'd be really interesting. I
I
don't know
mean,
why you
even if
would
it was
need
only
big.
like partially true, it would be like a good first step.
Yeah, I just don't know why you would need Bitcoin in the top of the mountains in the Rockies, but like, sure, why not?
If you're the citadels, you know,
Yeah,
citadels no longer, eventually, once you're self sustainable, you won't even want to have a broadcasting internet connection because then it's even more dangerous. So you just go completely without internet. And the only thing you would need, because like the problem with that would be that you wouldn't have access to the Bitcoin blockchain. But if you have access to the Bitcoin blockchain, then everything's solved for.
Yeah, this is big news. I hope that like, yeah, this is interesting because now the argument it doesn't hold by saying, what if the internet shuts off? Like this prevents it.
For
If
real.
the internet shut off, Bitcoin would still exist.
It would. We could. The Earth could really stop like working, and these satellites would just continue to fucking spin around the Earth. So,
It's funny. All right.
so
This one is busted. This one's cool.
busted. Yeah, totally busted, and really cool. Bitcoiners are the remnant. Alexander Svetsky. God, look at that. Like no space. Something inside. God, what is up with Bitcoin Magazine? Fucking losers over there. So
They misspelled his name.
Alexander Svetsky. Yes. He's one of our Maxi
Oh,
contributors.
September. Got it.
Yeah, Svetsky.
Just one little space, man.
Right. So what's it called? He wrote about how basically other people don't matter, only Bitcoiners, and I kind of agree.
Yeah, so mass adoption of Bitcoin isn't important. Selective adoption is always and always has been how any revolutionary technology or transformation comes out. The masses will join by default.
Yeah, basically talks about how in history, when major technologies get adopted, there's always a small group of pioneers, and it isn't like the masses aren't the ones who suddenly turn around and decide, oh, this is great. They just get it put in front of them. That's how, kind of how the smartphones worked with iPhone. It's not like a lot of people were like, oh, how did they take away all the buttons? But then like you just put it in front of them and there it is.
Right. Did he reference like any interesting examples?
I'm not sure. Well, I mean, he talks about this book, Isaiah's Job, um, and the remnant, which is also part of kind of a religious uh, uh, reference, basically people who mattered to God. But no, I mean, I'm not sure, but he talks about Albert J. Nock and some other stuff in here. But it's a great piece, and I think he.
Is that reference? Go back.
oh,
How was
I
that?
was like, what are you?
How was that relevant?
Mimetic representation of this. Yeah, it's the classic reference, just, just, just people who, and this is the masses, right? The remnant are us. Well, not necessarily us. You and I are here, right?
Yeah.
That's you and me, but we know that Bitcoin is good. This is like all the Bloomberg reporters who are smarter than us and all the people who go to college. And then this
Correct.
is the smartest Bitcoiners.
Michael said. Yeah, I think there's more of the point ones than the top point ones, but yeah, we're definitely the left side point ones. But I'm glad.
Yeah, I'm down with being a 0.1%.
That's so funny how they reference like that was a legitimate example in this article, like, and it described it perfectly.
For real. Like look at this. 4 of 5 citizens love democracy.
Yes, that's a great example.
Democracy to be abhorrent, and it's frustrating. Democracy is a parasite, he calls it. I mean, think about it. Democracy is literally just. Have you seen this? See if.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded. So let us say government by the retarded, for the retarded,
Shit's fucking hilarious, dude.
of the retarded.
Of the retard.
That's
Yeah,
so
literally. It describes democracy so fucking right. Like people will continuously vote for the things that make life easier for them, even if it's bad for them.
right. Wow, what a great episode. 4 fantastic articles. I think I like the last 2. Those were the most mainly the last video, but yeah, that was a great episode.
Yeah. But let's see. Thanks everyone for joining us. Do we have anything else to cover, or are we pretty much exhausted of our Bitcoin content?
Do we have a little meme of the day?
Oh yeah, you got a little meme you want to share your screen real quick and
I don't
show?
know. I have one. I didn't really like say one.
Okay. Well, I don't know. We kind of covered some good memes on that very ending article.
That last video was the meme of the day.
Yeah, Svetsky really hits the nail with those. So we never incentivize. Yeah, shit. Well, yeah, fucking A. So yeah, great episode though. I really liked today's article. So
All right, thanks everyone for listening to episode 24. Have a good one.
see y'all later.